That's crazy, man. That's a very interesting backstory. I definitely want to ask you again. I mean, I guess we could just be
Yeah,
going. Yeah.
yeah, pretty
I
much,
think
man. You
okay.
know,
Well, shoot. Welcome to Damn Internet You Scary, you guys. I'm Patrick Cloud. We feeling into here is on the road. We got an amazing comedian. I did not know this comedian and ex car salesman, Charlie Wilson. What's going on, man?
what's happening? What's up?
That's that's a pretty wild Wikipedia you set yourself up with.
Yeah, man. That's why sometimes I feel like it works against me too because I'm wearing all these different hats and doing
Uh
all these
huh.
different things. Sometimes I feel like it works against me because I'm not one, specific to just doing comedy or just so I host and I MC and I'm, kind of wearing a few different hats and
Damn.
my corporate background and stuff. I kind of spread myself kind of thin in a few things. I'm like, yeah, it'll
Well,
all work
nah.
out.
The first few paragraphs of Wikipedia got to be interesting. Like you set yourself up for a good documentary.
Yeah, true, true, true.
So wait, you said that you were kind of like bouncing around doing comedy, but also like selling cars, Wendy Williams show. Like,
Bro,
how did you get into selling cars?
yeah, so I was, I guess good like with people and making conversation, had a little sense of humor when I was like in high school, even in like early college. And one of my boys was in the car business in Louisiana. So when I moved to Texas, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. I didn't finish my time at LSU. I was just kind of going through some family stuff, and he had dropped the seed, and I was like, all right, man, I'll try it. Got into the Volkswagen business. That was one of the first dealerships I worked at and found some success with. I was like 18, 19. But I got my first commission check. I think it was maybe like, I don't know, $250 or something like that. I was like, oh my God. I was like, all right, that was easy. I was like, cool, I like cars and learning the technology and the Bluetooth and the features and benefits. And I also understood that people used to hate buying cars. They used to hate that experience. So I used to bring the walls down very soon, provide some sense of humor and get relatable, and it just was working. So I found success in that business, got promoted to like internet manager, and then at like 19, 20, I'm now like working like a floor manager. So I'm the one that you see when it's time to leave. Like when you say, "Hey, I want to think about it. Can I get your card?" I'm
Yeah,
that other dude that come out and shake your hand before you step off. So I'll be like, hey,
interesting.
you enjoyed the car. Did you have some questions? Is there anything we can do to run your business today? And I'm 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely it was a fun experience, but a draining industry. So I use that to help move me around the country because once you have that skill, I can sell cars anywhere. So it made
Right.
me a little bit more confident to be able to move and then land a job and put on something fly, have a good way with words, and yeah, you interview well, they'll hire you, give you opportunities. So I work my way into luxury, and yeah, just kind of been on the
Ooh.
grind, and I literally I'm out here just selling Maseratis in Santa Monica, which yeah, depending on when this airs, I may not be there no more. You know what I'm saying? But that's the
Wait, so
game.
okay, so you went from Volkswagen all the way to Maserati. Like you was climbing the corporate ladder and the actual like luxury cars.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a different pedigree of business, with the different dealerships and the different stores you work at. You work a lot harder selling Chevys and Fords and Toyotas and Nissans. You work harder. Those
Mhm.
dealerships are open later. They're pumping more volume of cars. You got to do all of this work to sell 25, 30 cars. But when you work your way into luxury, you're at our Land Rover store, Maserati, Alfa Romero, those kind of things. They close up 7 o'clock tonight. Saturdays we out at 6, and we work mostly on appointments. You're working with a different clientele who take their time more seriously. So,
Right.
it's a
Yeah,
different
and they
different
got the
level.
money to actually do it. They're not like, kind of like shopping around. Oh, let me see if I can get a better price. They just come
Yeah,
in ready to
yeah,
buy,
yeah,
huh?
yeah. Surprisingly, you would think that, but a lot of these people are successful in entertainment. Or I had a doctor come by yesterday, but they still will sometimes shop another dealer or try to, hey, can you work with me on the price a little bit? And I'll be looking
Mhm.
like, really, really,
Hey,
sir?
I guess that's how you keep it, right?
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. So yeah,
um,
yes and no.
real quick, yeah, our producer just said that if you could kind of hold back so you're not cut off.
Oh, I'm still getting cut
Yeah,
off.
no, you good, you good right there.
All right.
So what came first, the car sales or comedy?
Car sales definitely came first. I was selling cars from like 18 to like 23, something like that in Texas. And then I moved to New York around 24, 25 when I turned those ages. And when I moved to New York, I was like, I know how to sell cars. And I just kind of started getting different sales jobs. I was about to get my broker's license and work on and do like stockbroker, but it was too much of a process. I was like, okay, what else can I use these skills that I've acquired in the car business to do?
Yeah.
So I got my real estate license, and I was a broker selling apartments around New York for a little while. But I was still figuring out New York. You know, it's a very complex place if you've never been to New York. I was from the
Yeah.
South. And they were like, yeah, we got this unit on the Upper East Side. I was like, the upper. So like that way, you know what I'm saying? So I was trying to figure out the city. So I ended up just reverting back to cars. I was like, let me go sell cars so I can, you know, start making some money. My daughter was born in Brooklyn during Hurricane Sandy. It's snowing. So it was a city that really like took me through the trenches on learning the business, the game, and then comedy, working around the scene. So yeah, I was in hustle mode. I'm grateful for that period of my life because it allowed me to, you know, learn and perfect and get good at that industry. And also work and hustle and comedy. I was taking those same skills and putting them in the comedy game. I was like, all right, I'm not getting booked to do shows, but you know what? Let me talk to the owner. Let me see if I can just produce a show at this spot. Let me see what day of the week works best for me to put my own thing. And then, oh yeah, Charlie, you got a show? So bam. So a lot of the New York comics, I just ran into Matt Richards yesterday at this spot Soho House downtown. And he was like, yeah, I remember you from New York, bro. It's like a decade ago.
Damn.
But still like, you know, so it was a good way to plant some seeds early on in my career.
That's dope, man. Yeah, if like selling cars seems like that job that seems really fun if you're good at it. It reminds me of I don't know if you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, but it's like a whole episode where he's a comedian. He just thinks he can do it and he does it for a day and bombs. So like I feel like it's one of those things that not everybody can do, but it's a skill that I can only imagine when that sale goes through. It's so satisfying.
Yeah, when it works for you, it works for you. It's kind of like dating, bro. It's kind of like dating. Because think about it, like, you know,
I got it immediately.
yeah, think about it. Like the girl sitting at the bar, she's your lead. You know what I'm saying? She don't really want to be there. She's a little scared, but she wanna talk to somebody. She want a man. You know what I'm saying? So there's something there that she wants, but I have to approach her and bring her guard down. I gotta make her feel comfortable. I gotta give her enough information that will help lead me to the sale. That boy preaching, you know what I'm saying? That will help lead me to the sale. So it's the same thing at the dealership. They don't want to be there. They're there for information. They want to feel comfortable, but they have a goal. So I got to walk them through those steps of the sale. And just like in a relationship, if you try to jump too soon to the sale, hey, let me hit it. She's going to turn her off. She's going to run. She's going to dip out. So it's the same thing in a dealership. What are you here to buy? All right, well, let me show you this car. It's like, slow down, baby. Slow down.
Yeah.
So you got to assess each guest or each person a little bit differently and know how to, maneuver and, take them through their process. Some quicker than others. Ain't that right? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that was actually a pretty genius breakdown. I fully understand it now. You can't just be like, hey, you want to buy a car? Buy this one. It's like, okay, I'm going to another spot. Let me shop around a little. Right. So did you find out that you were funny while selling cars, or was comedy kind of already happening on its own?
Yeah, I knew I had like a sense of humor. But I was doing cars before I started doing stand-up, so I knew a sense of humor was there. But I never once thought like, oh, maybe I can do stand-up comedy. I knew I wanted to be an actor, so maybe a comedic actor. That was a dream I had since I was young. So I did like school plays. I was in theater. I was very involved in my church, so public speaking came easy to me. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna be an actor. I'm gonna be a famous actor one day. Matter of fact, in my 6th grade PE class, Coach Bogan, shout out to Coach Bogan. I don't know if he's still alive. But he used to nickname me Hollywood. So being in Shreveport, Louisiana, small town, but still having that reference, what up, Hollywood? Because they knew kind of what my goal was. It kind of just stayed with me. So yeah, actor for sure. But one of the stage plays I was doing in Texas, this was around early 2000s after Madeira took off and was doing all those stage plays, and everybody else in the community wanted to start putting together plays. So I was working on a production, and one of the guys who was working on the show, Florida P. Shout out to Florida P. But he was the one he did stand up, and he used to hear me like goofing around on the stage, in front of the props in the set. And he was like, "Bro, you ain't never did stand up?" And I was like, "Nah." He's like, "You should try it." So shortly after that, I ended up moving to New York. And at that time, I found it. I was like, you know what? Let me try open mic. I was like, I don't know nobody in New York. So even if I'm trash, I know these niggas. So I tried it, at this little spoken word on the Lower East Side. and got good feedback from the guy who ran the event. It's like, man, come back. And I came back again, got good feedback. Literally that night, this lady was like, hey, would you like to audition to be like an audience warmer? I'm putting a show together. The Manhattan Neighborhood Network. It was like a local TV network. And I was like, okay. And with that opportunity, she said, I think you should just shoot your own TV show pilot. And I was like, what? I was like, somebody speaking and seeing that in me was crazy. Now, this woman went on to later die of cancer. She was a little unorganized. She had stuff going on. But I went to that studio and I shot a TV pilot. And that's how my Instagram handle became Charlie Wilson TV. So it's still Charlie Wilson TV, but it started when I was working on that pilot. It didn't go nowhere. It didn't go off the ground. But there was still the fact that I went through those steps. And got
what was the pilot?
So it was gonna be like a daytime talk show. I was trying to be the new school Montel, you know what I'm saying? I was gonna bring different guests on. Hey everybody, welcome to the Charlie Wilson show. And I was gonna come up with a little jingle, and that's still kind of like a long-term goal for me. Whether it's more of a night show vibe now, but I still see myself kind of in those settings.
That's, man, like I said, the wiki is cracking.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of going on in the backstory. So I know you mentioned it last time you were on the show, but I feel like it's just one of those things that's like, man, every time I kind of just want to hear about it every single time I run into you. Yeah. Talk to me about how the Star Wars burlesque thing happened. That you got the merch on already.
Yeah, man. So it came out of nowhere, bro. So because I don't even consider myself like a go hard Star Wars guy. I wasn't that guy coming up. I wasn't really into it as a kid. I was aware of the movie, but I didn't know anything about it. So I'm in Vegas. Let me push this back so I'm gonna make sure I cut off. Yeah. So I'm in Vegas. I left LA after my separation, left LA and went to Vegas to go host a comedy show. Laugh After Dark is a TV show. They got a nice social following, but they produce comedy specials. We were supposed to film, because I got a spot on Amazon Prime doing a show in LA, season 2, Laugh After Dark. They offered me an opportunity to host the next upcoming season. We were supposed to film in LA during 2020 of March.
Oh, damn.
Everything shut down. We couldn't film anything in LA. We had to cancel our week of shows that was sold out to film this new talk show. So we had auditions. We got the cast together. I'm hosting it. I'm lit. I'm thinking I'm finna have the city in motion. It's finna go down. Pandemic happens. We can't film. We can't do anything. Anyway, I go to Vegas. This is a crazy story. I go to Vegas during the pandemic because Vegas is one of the few cities that started to open up first. You know what I'm saying? After we was on lockdown, we saw Florida wilding out. Vegas was starting to reopen. So anyway, I go to Vegas to do a show, and I headline a show, and my boy Big Irish J invites me to this club downtown.
No, Irish J, yeah.
And I go do a guest spot. The owner was there, sees me crush, and he's like, hey, you were funny. Good job. Long story short, he invites us to film Laugh After Dark at his spot in Vegas.
Oh, wow.
So that's what made my whole pivot happen to Vegas was we're in this spot downtown Vegas. We filmed Laugh After Dark there. We got a live band. We rocking with our residency. That extended to a residency of a little over a year. So now we got the weekend sold up in Vegas. I got all my partners coming into town. We filming TV shows. So that's currently live. So anyway, I'm doing that for about a year and change with the show. But I'm still selling cars in Vegas. I'm selling timeshare now.
Oh, wow.
I'm hustling. You know what I'm saying? So one of the producers of that show just sent me an email, said, Charlie, I don't know how much you know about Star Wars, but for whatever it's worth, you sound like you'd be a good fit. They're looking for a host. I was like, all right, what that little per diem look like? Let me go ahead and apply and see. And I knew it was a shot in the dark because I was like, I don't know how much they think I know about Star Wars. Anyway, one of the producers of that show lived in Vegas. I had a Zoom with a guy in New York, but the other partner lived in Vegas. I invited them to a comedy show. I was like, I don't know if I'm y'all style, because they were Australian. This was an Australian show that started in Australia that they were bringing to North America. Mm-hmm. So they basically sold out San Fran and Hollywood, saw success, and they were like, let's continue the tour. But they needed another host for New York or Chicago. So I invited the other guy to my show in Vegas. I was a little awkward. You know how you meet someone that's not like from America and you try to do a handshake and it's a little awkward?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work out. I don't feel like we vibe. But a few days later, he followed back in. We love you. We want to offer you the position. We have a Chicago residency starting. We'll move from there. We're gonna help relocate you. I was like, okay. let's go, let's do that. And yeah, it's been 2.5 years. So when I have a contract, we typically stay in the city for a month. So I was in Seattle for a month, Portland for a month, Phoenix for weeks, Atlanta for some weeks, and then I'll have time off where I got to figure out where my next opportunity and my income stream is going to come from. So I've had to get better over these 4 years at figuring out other ways I can stay in my creative element, but try to survive, and still be a part of the production.
So how does that work? Because Star Wars burlesque show. If this is somebody's first time hearing about this,
Yes, it's a
like
lot.
what does that shoot day look like, or show day look like for
Sure.
you? Yeah, like
So
what? Because I can only imagine what it's like working for Star Wars behind the scenes. You seeing stormtroopers walking around backstage and everything. So like
basically,
from when you get to the venue, like what is your night like?
so we would typically do between 6 to 8 shows a week. So I'm off on Mondays, I'm off on Tuesdays, Wednesdays usually are the show starts. So it might be opening night or just a regular work week. We'll have a 5 p.m. meeting. So I usually sleep in, get some tea, stretch, run to Trader Joe's, whatever I gotta do. And then I'll chill until it's time for our 5 p.m. meeting. That meeting, I'll sit with the cast. Now, the cast, I'm usually one of 2 or 3 males that are a part of the production. Everyone else they're women. Now, these women are usually backup dancers, have dancing careers, professional dancers. So they're who you see on these award shows, backing up, whatever. So they pick very good talent. They cast in these cities and they use girls that have worked with us before, but also new, but still kind of got what it takes. Choreographers are dope. So they have to train and basically assemble this team of Avengers in this specific city. So they'll be like now casting in Atlanta, Georgia, and they'll pick some of our old talent girls and guys that have worked with us, but also they'll give this new flavor of talent in Atlanta to come through and see if they got what it takes. So we'll have our meeting. Sometimes there's a rehearsal to run through specific acts that are within the show. But because I'm just the MC, I'm not out there a part of the dance and stuff. I'm usually backstage drinking more tea, ordering food in or something like that, So yeah, we have our meeting. They rehearse some stuff. They also do like little group warm up. I'll go join them on stage and kind of warm up with them. The show will typically start at 7:30 on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And yeah, doors open at 7. We have our little pre-show meeting. We do our warm up, and then it's about 2.5 hour show, 2 hour show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2 hours with a 30-minute intermission, 15-minute intermission. I'll take that back, 15-minute intermission.
Wow.
So it's 2 hours that I'm kind of occupied. 7:30, I'm usually done by like 9:30, 9:45. I'm headed home. And then on Fridays, we'll do 2 shows usually. Saturdays can sometimes be 3 shows Saturday. So we have a 4 p.m., a 7 p.m., and a 9:30 on Saturdays. And then a matinee on Sunday, which is just a 4 p.m. show. And then I'll be off Monday and Tuesday. And that's kind of our work week.
And this is a new city every week?
Or month? Like I said, we usually stay about a month. Sometimes,
okay.
Sometimes 2 months. We're in Denver for 9 weeks.
Oh wow!
So we post up at a theater and we kind of take over the city. So it's a really cool experience in the sense that when I start hosting that show for that week, I'm introducing myself to the city. But by the time that 3rd week, happens, 4th week happens, and I'm still in the city, the show's still running. The internet is buzzing, the algorithms are hitting, people are hearing about the show, people that have been to it before, because we've swept through this city, already once or twice already before. So when I go get coffee, they be like, "Hey, aren't you Lando?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, from the show. Yeah, it was so good." So you start to have this little bit of buzz throughout the city that's fun because, unless you're on TV, you're on Netflix, people ain't really recognizing you from anything,
Uh-huh.
But to live and have a cool residency at a city, that does well, ticket sale wise, it's pretty cool experience.
That's crazy. So like, I saw the name is a great pun, Empire Strips Back.
Mm-hmm.
Are you as the host, you're Lando, but you
Yeah.
said you weren't dancing. So are you kind of like transitioning like segments? Like
Exactly.
what is the MC life in this?
Exactly. So I, just like when I host anything else, I am like the orchestrator of the vibe. You know what I'm saying? I take that responsibility very seriously. So I've been hosting comedy shows, but I also MC like dance competitions for like, jazz and hip hop and tap and all of that. So I've been hosting and MCing for a long time. So to be a host of something like this, man, it's just fun because people are coming out to get in touch with their childish, youthful, playful side, and I really lean into that. So when they come out, it's like, man, work don't matter, your kids don't matter. This is Star Wars and titties, folks. We finna have a good time. Like relax. We're gonna dance a little bit. We're gonna twerk a little bit. You can dance with us. So I come back and let them relax, but I also have to enforce boundaries so that they're not doing too much. Because also, this is kind of a sexy show. It's not doing too
Yeah.
much. It's very classy.
Mhm.
The quality of the set and the pieces and wardrobe, top tier, really
Right.
top tier. Like I gotta get you tickets too, bro, so you can check it whenever it's
I
like.
have to. Yeah, absolutely.
But
All right. Let me ask you something. Do you actually like your money? Because Big Wireless definitely does. They love your money. If you are tired of paying way too much for your phone bill, all the extra fees and those free perks that somehow cost more, then Mint Mobile is the move. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless plans starting at just $15 a month. All plans come with high speed data and unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network. And it's easy. You can bring your own phone and number, activate with eSIM in minutes, and start saving immediately. No contracts, no hassle. Honestly, I've seen what people pay for their phone bills, and it's crazy. If I'm going to choose a plan, I'm going with something like Mint because paying less for the same service just makes sense. That is money I would rather keep. So stop overpaying just because that's how it's always been. Get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. So if you like your money, Mint Mobile is for you. Shop plans at mintmobile.com/DIYS. Once again, that's mintmobile.com/DIYS. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month, 5 GB plan required, equivalent to $15 per month. New customer offer for first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
I also have to control their energy because if guys are saying something disrespectful, woo, turn around, I have to now chill and put that fire out. So I got to control the vibe, but make sure my cast feels comfortable and respected and like professionals as well. So yeah, I take it seriously, but yeah, it's fun. And it feels good to continue to be welcomed back because we have another show going on in Vegas right now with a different host. In different cities, sometimes they'll try to hire a local host, so they don't have to fly me out and put me in an Airbnb. It saves them money,
Yeah.
But the fact that they keep hitting my line lets me know that I'm doing something different. I'm bringing something right. The reviews are slapping, so it feels good to get that too.
Yeah, and you got to have like a good face of if it's changing every single time, it's good to have like a solid anchor and shit like that.
Yeah.
But that's dope, man. Hey, stormtroopers and booty cheeks.
Man, what more do you want from me?
What more do you want from me? Is because you said it's a wild show, but it's also very contained. It's sexy, but it's classy.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what this show is like behind the scenes. Is it a wild time, or is it surprisingly structured and like how is that like?
It's a little bit of both, It's a wild time because you still have these younger women, usually, in their early 20s, mid 20s, some late 20s, that have been doing dance for a while. Some of them see this as just like another gig. They just got finished dancing on a cruise ship, or with the Rockettes in New York, or a video and touring with one of them. Tours with Sexy Red, you know what I'm saying? So she's doing this in her off time. So they all come in at a different level, or for some of them, it's their first professional dance job, But they all usually come excited to be there because they know they had to go through a lot to get the opportunity. So yeah, like we have a good time. Sometimes we'll go out after the show and it's like, hey, we're gonna go get some drinks and try this spot. And then I walk in that thing like Hugh Hefner because I'm one of the few guys, and there's 6 or 7 dancers with us. So everybody's usually turning their head like, what the hell?
It's Lando.
What's going on? So
big Lando energy. I like that.
Big Lando energy for sure, bro. I might as well have, the ship outside, you know what I'm saying? Pull it up for sure. So yeah, sometimes we'll have time, we'll go out after the show. But when I'm in a relationship, I've got to carry myself a little differently, you know what I'm saying? Because that was a problem with one of my past relationships. She was all cool and excited that I was on the show and she was my girl. But as soon as I had to go fly to a city and she wasn't there, it went from, oh yeah, I'm excited, nice to meet the cast, to, oh, you going out with the little young hoes again, huh? Oh, okay, y'all going out to eat again? Okay.
All stormtroopers, baby.
Yeah. I'm like, these my coworkers. What you want me hungry?
I can see how that'd be problems.
Definitely can be problematic. So you got to carry yourself respectfully too, because I can't get the reputation that, oh, he made me feel uncomfortable. Charlie was doing this with this girl. He's made me feel, so I've got to walk that line between being respectful, mature, professional,
Absolutely.
but still be fun and be the host.
You mentioned you're big on tea. We had a quick conversation before the show on, you got your tea going right now.
Oh yeah.
I want to hear you talk about that a little bit more, because you said like that became a big part of your morning routine, and I'm kind of on the same path ever since I produced the show. I was telling you about Tea and Time. I've just been hit up by all these like tea enthusiasts, tea gurus, and I'm learning so much about it. And I'm learning a big thing about it is it's not really just about like this tastes delicious. It's really like the everything that surrounds it, and like the peace and the ritual and the process and all of that stuff. So how long have you been into it, and kind of just go over your routine with it?
Oh, for sure, man. It's a big part of my life now. I started really going hard with the tea during the pandemic. My anxiety was high. James, what's his name? James Floyd, Michael Floyd was the guy who got.
George Floyd.
George
Yeah.
Floyd. I was calling him everything else. Michael J. George. But yeah, during that time, remember in LA it was tense. There was protests going on, so I remember my nerves being high. For the first time, I had like what felt like an anxiety attack where I was struggling to breathe, and it never happened before in my life. But there was just a lot going on in my relationship at the time, so I was like feeling like stiff. I was like So I just started to drink tea, lemon. I try to keep that raw honey. I started dressing it up, and I noticed that the process, like you were saying, the process of preparing it becomes nostalgic. Just like for the people who smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? It's the process of rolling it up and breaking it down that kind of makes it, more of an experience. It's a whole, I forgot the word I'm trying to think, but it's
aesthetic.
It's not aesthetic. It's like an aphrodisiac. It's just something. It's a word. But basically, it's that process, those steps that you take that make it kind of relax and home tea. So that's what tea became for me. So during the pandemic, I kind of leaned on it. It was something that was healthy for me. It was good for me. It kept me hydrated. But that warmth brought me peace. Cutting up those lemons and kind of going through that process, squeezing up my tea, brought me some comfort. And then, just slow sipping it would calm me down. And then combine that with stretching, I was like, okay, this is going to be a part of my life, So even to this day, now I'm like using tea, or if I feel myself needing to calm down for any reason, I'm gonna go make some tea, and I'm gonna go to it. It always provides that comfort. So before my show, when I do the Empire Strips Back, I'm like, hey, they already know now. Hey, Charlie, we got your teas. That's when I feel like a little bougie. That's when I feel like I'm a little successful.
Damn.
Because they know. They're like, hey, Charlie, we got your teas. I know you like your lemon. We got some lemons in the fridge. And I'm over there like, thank you. I appreciate that. Just feeling good. So, but before the show, during the show, you also have to take care of your voice. So the things with keeping something warm in it, it helps relax me and take me to a different place. So without tea and getting my stretching in, I feel like I'd be a different person. That's why when you tell people your age, you know what I'm saying, they'd be like, "What?" You'd be like, I'm gonna keep drinking this damn tea. Gotta be the tea. Get some of this tea.
No order, in no order. Top 5 teas, because I know you said that you usually do peppermint.
Bro, yeah. So this chick that I was dating brought me some tea from Europe. You know what I'm saying? So I got like this Queen Elizabeth set that she brought me that came from London, and it had like some peach passion in there, which is really good. I usually like a lemon ginger just for like the health benefits. I actually got some tea right here, just randomly. I'm not finna plug nobody. The chamomiles I don't usually do. Pure peppermint I like. Peppermint is good for you.
Okay.
Green teas, I'll take it if it's there, but like usually green and black, I know you were talking about those. They don't really have the flavor. The caffeine is there. You have to flavor it up yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
But not so much on those.
Those are the ones that are closest to just like leaf water.
Yeah, exactly.
It don't really taste like nothing.
Or Earl. What is Earl? Who's Earl? What is it?
Yeah, I ain't trying to be at the crib drinking Earl.
No, I don't want no Earl. So that never has worked for me. So it's usually the lemon, the peach passion, the turmeric, like we spoke about, some of those that I know will have some health benefits that are good for, you know, my system. I'll stay on those, but also the ginger, the peppermint, the mint, you know, those that I know will be good for my throat, my voice, or either kind of calming me, because they do have some like this is a wild one. I know you've seen it before, bro. Ever been looking at the T6 and they got one called Throat Coat?
Yeah, I won't bring myself to do it, even if I'm sick.
Yeah, get it.
That's crazy.
Get the throat coat. Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
it's good.
It sounds crazy, but
it sounds insane. I would rather just drink hot water.
Hey, you be at your boy crib and be like, "It's you on this throat coat, my boy?"
I'm lying. I've had it before.
Okay, I know you did.
When I'm sick, I don't care.
All right. You be like, I need something. Putting Vicks on your chest. Come on, throat coat.
So it sounds like you more into like the herbal side of it than the actual like the green tea, black tea, white tea, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Because it's the walks. Because why not try to get some of the health benefits that are there that I know also are going to help take care of my immune system while I'm enjoying the benefits of having something warm, because warm water is just a good way to start your day anyway. You know, but the lemon, like those lemons are good for your intestines, your insides,
You mean like adding lemon? Like adding lemon juice, you mean? Adding lemon juice?
Fresh lemons, yeah. So whenever I go grocery, I'll grab a lemon or two, just so I can kind of cut that up and squeeze it in there. It gives it a whole different like little taste, a little pop. Or a lime, I'll substitute for a lime if I don't have a lemon. But I usually squeeze that, some honey, like those things are just naturally good for your, you know.
I think that's where I've been cutting corners. Is I'll usually just do the tea and the honey, but I don't do the extra step of the lemon. I got to do that.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
I wanna kind of like improve my night ritual too, because it's really just in the morning. But I started getting into the teas that help you sleep better and all that stuff, and you really you can really tell a difference, just like with sleep quality and all of that. Like I just got this like lavender tea that's really good for sleeping and like the digestion teas and stuff like that. So I definitely want to get into that kind of stuff too.
Same. I'm not more on the PM side. I usually keep it pretty just standard on those herbal lines. But yeah, I haven't really, I guess, reaped the benefits of knowing, because sometimes I feel like it's too early. I got stuff to do. I'm not gonna go to bed right now. So I'll talk myself out even doing the nighttime wind down. Also, tea before bed, depending on your age and how you set up, you will be peeing. You know what I'm saying? At 5 a.m. You're like, why do I got to get up and pee? So you drunk a whole cup and a half of tea, bro.
A whole barrel of water. Oh man, no, that was really interesting stuff, man. I'm glad I got to talk to you about all that stuff. Sometimes we just jump right into the stories on this show. We don't get a chance to talk to our people. So I'm glad I got to learn all that stuff from you.
100%, bro. I have to tap in with you too, because I also have been sitting on an idea for a while where I start actually teaching like group setting classes and doing like self-guided deep stretches along, and they kind of masking in, you know, whether it's tea or smoothies or whatever type of like, you know, sponsorships might be able to get. But I talked to, you know, Christine about it as well, just so I can kind of incorporate something that I'm already doing. Like that's what the game is, bro. Trying to figure out a way that you can help others make some money by doing things you already doing.
Exactly.
You know? That's something I'd like to work on. So if you're down for the collab, bro, we can set that up too.
Let me know, man. Let me know. I'm always down. I say it all the time. The best advice I ever got in college was saying that, you know, true happiness comes from aligning what you already do, like hobbies, with work, because all the statistics about how much time people at the end of their life spent working, it's like it pushes everything else to the side. But if you can make what you like doing your work, you that's fulfillment.
You don't really work no more. I mean, there's still work aspects to it, but it's less like work and more like you're just living your life and you're flowing. So the more we can flow, bro, man, life is golden.
Yeah, man. That, like, you know, speaking of morning rituals, that's what I was telling you before. Stretching just kind of became like a non-negotiable for me. Like nothing else can happen before that. And I think that came from having just really frantic mornings. I was never really a morning person. I always stayed up late, which means I had to sleep until the last moment. So whether I had to go to set or I had like a meeting or I had to go to a scout, I was always waking up maybe like 30 minutes to an hour right before doing that. So you wake up and then you just go. Your mind just turns on and it's like doing all of this.
Flustering,
Yeah, and I can't fathom doing that to my brain or my body, because like I got into combat sports in the last year, and I
Oh,
feel
okay.
like a big thing about that is a huge thing on flexibility, because that's how people are 35, 38 feeling old, because they body lock up.
Like
So
what? Like what are you doing? You just or something? What?
right now I'm doing boxing and Muay Thai.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah,
trying to get
yeah.
into boxing for a minute, bro. I found like a dude who does training sessions at LA Fitness, and I was like, let me wait, get back in there. But yeah, that's lit.
The best way is to just get like a teacher, because like I tried to do
Right,
the thing where I went in by myself and stuff like that, and
right,
I could not be as consistent. But
right.
yeah, like flexibility is such a huge part of that,
Yeah.
and people lock up way too early in life because they don't stretch. So let me know. Yeah, stretch content is actually huge.
Facts.
I was watching this YouTube channel that was getting millions and millions of views. It was this girl, and she never said a thing. It was just teaching you stretches, and I can only imagine how much money her account was making. And
Right.
then I found a video. She didn't speak English. She was German.
Wow.
I had no idea, because stretching is so universal. You don't even need to see
You don't have to say nothing really,
it
too.
breaks
Depends
the
on.
language barrier, cultural barrier.
Right.
Like that's a really good genre of content to get into. So I'm fully down.
Yep, yep, yep. Okay. Yeah, we can set that up, bro. And like because we have the opportunity to kind of define the lane and make it a little something that you ain't really seeing on those channels. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because I'm a little humor built into mine, but it's gonna be
Yep.
like a vibe. It's gonna be an experience. Our setup, how it is, people are gonna want to come. So I'm gonna just charge per person, and then hey, on Saturdays or on Sundays. So yeah, now that I'm talking about it out loud too, sometimes you just gotta talk it out. But
Yeah.
yeah, after I get back from tour, it might be a good time to put that together, like in the summertime. So yeah, I'll definitely double back with
Oh
you.
yeah.
It's really just finding a good space.
Hmm.
I was going to ask you about that too. Like, what is your setup like whenever you do stretch? Do you go in the living room and kind of get on the floor? Do you pull out a yoga mat? You go on your balcony? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, so I do yoga mat, and it's really just like I have like a little fireplace, because in the morning it's usually
Oh, excuse me,
freezing.
player. Okay. All right, player. Okay. All right. Hey.
But no, my spot is usually really cold in the morning, so I turn that on, and I'll play
Little light
like
flex. Little light
I'll play
flex.
my I got a hiking playlist that's
Okay.
it's
Okay.
like it's actually really interesting. It's like meditative music, and
Nice.
I'll start playing that, and then I'll start the tea, and then I'll start sort of like warming up, stretching, shadow boxing, all that kind of stuff. And it kind of
Nice.
just gets me kind of like ready to do everything else, as opposed
Right.
to like going straight from the frequency of I don't want to leave my bed to like
Right.
the gym or work. Like I can't do that anymore. That's too
For
big of a
sure.
jump.
For sure. No, for sure. And that's another reason why I like to bring it back to the show, why I like hosting, because I still have my mornings. I can start slow.
Yeah.
I can cook my breakfast. I can, get my workout in. I can do those deep stretches. So I feel like that's when you're living your best life, is when you kind of can designate the time to something you want to get done. Obviously, you can squeeze it in if you got to go to work at 9 a.m. You just got to get up at 5 and, whatever. But I think if it can flow more naturally, where you can kind of get up and still wake up organically and take your time and welcome your body and be good to it and do those things, man,
Yeah.
that's everything. And then I go shine at night, and I'm kind of like a night owl, but yeah, that's like ideal setups is preserving those those starts to our days, because then it sets the tone for the rest of the day and essentially the week.
I never understood the aspect of comedians that or just people who work at night. Like
Mm,
growing up, musicians, comedians, hosts, all that stuff that worked at night were typically not morning people. You know what I mean? Like it's kind
right.
of like they're known in the media for waking up at 1 p.m., 2 p.m., but it's sustainable because they're working and out until like 2, 3. How the hell do you balance being at these clubs and these shows and going out at night, and then also waking up, having a slow
Bro,
morning, stretching, tea? Like how does that even happen?
Bro, it's the good part about it is, yeah, my night will end, sometimes 10 p.m. But on Fridays we have 2 shows, Saturday 3 shows, so those days are exhausting, mentally draining, physically you're tired. And because I'm the MC, I'm on my feet most of the night. So we have 3 shows that are, 2-hour shows. That's 6-7 hours. I'm on my feet. So I'll deep stretch before the show, put some music on, listen to a little Jeezy or something to kind of get hyped, like,
Mm,
all right. And I'll kind of start affirming myself with words in my mind that help remind me who I am. that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you are that guy. So I'll tell myself like, yeah, bro, you got this. You've been doing this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because that pressure will start to settle into your body is kind of tired, but you hear the tickets, the music is kind of set, so it's like, all right, I got to get into this 8 Mile kind of zone. So I make sure that I'm taking care of myself properly so that I can lock into that guy. And then, yeah, fortunately, that next morning I can really sleep in and pass out until I'm ready to get up, because I know I don't have to go in until that later meeting usually anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just preserve that time, and then yeah, slow wine and get back to my teas. And same thing, I don't have no fireplace, but I try to let some sunlight in. I let a little sunshine in.
So you still get the proper amount of rest, even if that pushes into the day, as long as you start slowly with the routine.
Exactly.
Don't matter if it's noon, 7, 3 p.m.
Yeah, I don't eat breakfast until around noon, sometimes 12:30.
Not really a breakfast guy either, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like a late breakfast, and then once I have that late breakfast, I'm usually good. It holds me over for a little while, and then I'll try to have some fruit and things like that that'll kind of carry me on until the show. Because whenever I have to perform, whether it's comedy or hosting a show, I don't usually eat like anything heavy anyway. So after that breakfast, I'm usually like, let me get a smoothie, let me get a juice, let me get an apple, let me get a little snack, a little small salad or soup, something warm. So I'll try to think responsibly, and then bam, I'm about to knock out the shows. After the shows, that's when sometimes that hunger will kick in. I'm like, man, I'm starving. What y'all trying to do? Let's go get something, or I'll grab something on the way home. And then that's where you got to be careful, because it's not good to eat late at night either. So you still got to think a little sensibly. So I'm just getting better over time with trying to navigate making the right decisions for my body, my health, my mind, because how we take care of ourselves is going to depend on how well we can sustain and make good decisions to build from that sustainability. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just maintaining where you at. And that's another reason why, I'm about to leave this job. It's great. I love Maserati, I love the business, but it's like it's taking up so much of what I could be doing. It's taking up a little bit of the pocket. It's taking away from me more than I think it's bringing to me. I need the money. I need the check. But because I know I'm building something way bigger than that, I can't afford to be comfortable there and give them 10, 12 hours a day. I can't afford to do that. I've got to, figure out a way to pull myself out of that, survive, make some cutbacks, get a credit card, make some exceptions, do a little woo-woo, take it this other gig. That's why I'm confirming another date for me to go MC another dance competition in a couple of weeks. I'll go make that check and then come back here and, da-da-da-da-da. So I'm studying for my real estate exam in California now too. So yeah, I'm like thinking big picture, thinking 5 years, 7 years, the things that I'm doing now, we're gonna, kind of set that up for me. And the car business, like always, is always gonna be there. So a lot of the jobs we work in now, to whoever's charming in, that job is gonna be there in 2 years. It's gonna be there in 3 years when you need it. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, it's hard, but you gotta bet on you, and you gotta take those little scary leaps and figure it out.
What up, y'all? Cravings are not just about nicotine. They are about the habit itself, the hand-to-mouth motion, that moment where your brain just wants to reach for something. That is the part that's hardest to break, and that's where Fume comes in. Fume is a flavored air device designed to help people quit vaping and smoking by breaking that habit loop. No nicotine, no vapor, no batteries, just something for your hands and mouth to do when that urge shows up. And the real thing is that fidget moment. Those times where you're just sitting there, so you're stressed, you're thinking, and your hand just reaches for something without even realizing it? That happens a lot to me when I'm editing for like long hours. And that's when Fume fits in the best. Instead of going back to an old habit, just reach for this instead. You're not just trying to quit, you're upgrading the habit. The flavors, they're lighter too. Think flavored water versus soda. It's not overpowering, just enough to give you that feel without being too much. Crisp mint to me is the strongest, especially if you're coming from like a heavier use. Raspberry is a little sweeter, and it's more on the tangy side. Fume has already helped over 700,000 people take steps towards better habits, and now it's your turn. When you grab a Journey Pack, you will also get a free gift just for using our code DIYS. So head over to tryfume.com, that is TRYFUM.com, and use our code DIYS to claim your free gift today. I think that's a really important conversation to have too, because it's like, comfort is so hard to come by now. Like it's shit is crazy right now. So being in a situation where you're comfortable is a huge blessing. But it's like you were saying, like it can also mask what you are supposed to be doing. So it's a really tough gray area where people are like, okay, I'm good and I could stay here, but
Right.
it's like I could leave this area and make it better. But it's like you don't know what's out there.
You know what's out there. You're taking a chance, and you could, and especially if you followed on your face before, you know what that feels like, and you swore you never get there again.
Yeah, because
You
it's almost
swore
like
you
I
wouldn't
don't
let
want
it
to
happen
get back.
again. Yeah.
You're thinking like that's a great point because you're more thinking about the what could bad could happen rather than what good can happen.
That
And I
part.
think that's a big thing. Me too. It's just like you more think about like, oh, if this doesn't go, you're gonna be here. When you should just be thinking of this. Why even think about
Yeah.
what happens if
Because
it wouldn't work?
because naturally we try to protect ourselves. It's just
Yeah.
a natural reaction is to try to look out for ourselves. We know it's just us. Ain't nobody finna come save us. Ain't nobody finna look out for us. We're gonna fall on our face and we're gonna have to ask for some help. And we don't want to do that. We're gonna have to fall on our face and be hungry now and not have so we don't want to do that. So it's that fear that sets in. But you also have to remind yourself, like, nah, bro, remember, you that guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you that guy, you're not gonna let that happen. You're gonna figure it out. So it's a lot of self-talk and affirming yourself you have to do to take those kind of necessary risks. But it's still scary, but you still
Yeah.
gotta figure out, okay, I still feel like I'm gonna do what's best. And even the times that I've fallen before, I got back up and it started
That's
working back out. And
that's the comforting part that I feel like enough people don't zero in on. They're so obsessed with the like, I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to deal with that again. Blah blah blah. They forget that it's like, but you did that already. You made it out of there already.
right,
So it's like it's kind of a win-win. Either you go back there and you're like, all right, well, I've been here before. Let's just get back, or you go where you wanted to.
right. Yeah, we're a lot more thinking the negatives, and that's what honestly keeps a lot of people in their comfort zones. That's why a lot of people, in suburban towns or small towns and different, in other parts of the country that are not out here in LA or New York and some of these cities that come with so much risk because it's scary. We out here overpaying for everything, fighting
Yeah.
traffic, dodging, trying not to get a parking ticket.
Yeah.
SoCal Gas, they sending me messages now. They want their money. They not playing, you know what I'm saying? So it's harder out here. But that don't mean that we still can't figure it out and get through it and still reach greatness just because it's hard. Because there's also people in front of us that are figuring it out and making it happen too. Why can't you be one of them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
So where are you finding time for comedy? Because it seems like this show is Wednesday to Sunday.
Yeah.
It's going well. They got you for months at a time,
Right.
and then you got the car dealership during the week.
Yeah.
Speaking of like sort of like moving things around and making
Yeah.
making DreamWorks. When are you
It's
finding
tough.
time for that?
It can be a challenge, especially when I'm in another city, because I'll go to like Seattle or Portland or Chicago, and I'm like, man, I want to work the comedy scene here. And I'll talk to some of the bookers and some of my friends. Oh yeah, Charlie, I got a show, man. Saturday night, pull up. And I'm like, Saturday.
Yeah.
I work, big dog. And I'm like, what you got on Tuesday? They're like, nigga, the open mic is Tuesday. We talk. And I'm like, all right, I can't. So it's a win, but it also kind of works against me. That's why sometimes I'm like, I need to just be free so I can get into these comedy clubs. But unless you got the following and the ability to sell out, they're not just opening letting you in like that anyway. So it's a catch-22. I still am trying to build a name for myself and a following and all of that. But I got to take care of myself and provide and be a part of dope things like this as well. So it's almost a catch-22, bro. It's tough. So I try to still get up when I can. And honestly, I'm just doing it all. I'm selling Maseratis, and then as soon as I get off, I got to come home and change. It's Thursday. I got a show tonight in Inglewood. You know what I'm saying? Then I got to fly after the dealership, sell out Maserati, and then go do jokes in Inglewood. Now I'm just getting home at 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then I got to be back at work at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I don't have the mornings to like get up and preserve. So it's a runaround.
Oh,
but
wow.
That's why you got to make those hard decisions.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, this is cutting too much. When you're not getting, your phone's not blowing up, people aren't trying to welcome you into opportunities and do things, it's easier to stay comfortable. But when people are hitting you up for opportunities and you're seeing things that you could or should be doing, it becomes a lot more difficult because you know that side is pulling you in that direction, but you want to stay safe and comfortable, and you try to do both. But at some point, you're like, I gotta put this down so I can pick this up, and that's ultimately what I want to pick up anyway. So why am I holding on to this to try to feel better and fulfilled? So it's tough, but you gotta let that go and then go over here and get busy and orchestrate that plan and be strategic about your planning. But shit, you gotta do it.
And when you think about how many times or how many examples of that working, like people saying, forget it, I'm just gonna go for it, and it worked. That's really what people should focus on. Not like I feel like just people focus on the negative, but it's definitely refreshing to hear that mindset, especially like from someone where it's not even like, man, I'm doing all this stuff that I hate and I want to do the stuff that I like. Like, this Star Wars thing sounds great.
It's great. It
sounds amazing. So I mean, I see that it's like, and I think a big thing about that is it's very like much aligned with comedy too. Because you're on stage, it's entertainment. I'm sure you up there telling crazy jokes.
Oh yeah.
So it's a lot different, from I guess what most people have to deal with, which is just a strong pivot, something that they hate, and then they have to make time for the stuff that they like. That's completely in a different category.
It's the perfect compromise. It sharpens my belt on stage. It sharpens my belt in front of large audiences.
Yeah.
Works on my crowd control, abilities. And honestly, I was the most, uneducated Star Wars host the shows probably may have had. You know what I mean? They were one of the hosts that started the show. Eric, shout out to Eric. He started it when they first opened up Hollywood in San Fran. He knows Star Wars, so he has a lot more of those references that I don't know, But I had to shine with crowd work, crowd interaction, my own spins on these things, and
it's harder to teach than Star Wars lore.
Facts, yeah. Either you know those things or you don't. And Star Wars fans, they know their game, they know their work, they know those references. So if you don't saying them right, or know how to follow up on stuff,
you go crazy.
Just fall back, player. You ain't got to step in it if you don't know what you're doing.
So to this day, how many have you seen?
I've seen all of the movies.
Oh, okay.
I've seen all of the movies. Do I remember the points, the references? The movies are so complex, though. They've gotten better over time. But if you look at some of the previous ones, you're trying to keep up with what's happening in this part, and there was a lot going on.
Time jumps, all that.
Yeah, there was a lot going on, and the movies they're not in this chronological order of release, and you try to piece them together. It was a lot. It was a lot.
No, I mean, I really hope somebody, any of our listeners can listen to your story and be inspired and just like, kind of like you're doing all of this stuff at once to make your dreams work. And then like, even like how you're like compartmentalizing, like, okay, I'm gonna leave this job and do this. And then it's like, I booked this job and on the off times, I'm doing all of this and this. Because I mean, like I'm having some time management issues too. I feel like once you have like a lot of like irons and fires, it's like it's natural to pay attention to some and leave some to cool down. And it's a tough dance. And unfortunately, it's infinite. But it's the game we signed up for.
but I think that's what I kind of the epiphany I had this past week is I was like, this is what's supposed to happen though. And in another 5 years, it's gonna happen again, and it's supposed to continue to happen. Like we're supposed to continue to have options of where we need to put our time and where it's the most valuable, where we feel the most organic, what is the most natural flow, what's paying me the money now. In addition to the money, what also comes with that experience? How am I treated? Like so, we're constantly having to like level up on those decisions and where we are. Yeah. So there's another show that I host called Bingo Loco. All right. So check this out. International show. Started in Ireland, but they do European tour too. So it's like bingo, right? Rave party, right? So they have a hip hop version too, but it's basically like I'm turned up on stage. I got a live DJ. We're giving away prizes. I got air fryers. I got record players. We're giving away trips to Vegas. And I've been tour with them too. So I'll go out and do some pop-up shows. So tomorrow I'm driving San Diego to host that show out there. So
wow,
at that point,
and they're playing bingo as they're going. Like everybody got the things at a rave,
right? So I'm calling out numbers, but in between, I'm doing like a little song play. Y'all remember this one? Okay, ain't nothing like when you date somebody But then y'all break up and you don't have nothing else, and then the DJ be like, hit that witty, I have nothing, nothing, nothing. Now they singing with me, so we got sing-alongs and all of that. And then we're
That's
all right, y'all,
crazy.
number 45. Number 40, whatever.
Where are they doing all this in mid rave?
So everybody's sitting at tables. Everybody's
Oh,
seated.
their table. Got you.
Yeah, so we
Okay.
usually bring out like a club, like a big, large venue. So it's like we're talking like 400 or 500 people. You know what I'm saying? Usually, and they all sit at their tables. They get their drink on. They go to the bar. The bartenders come serve them or whatever. And they seated. They got their cue card when they come in. They got their little pen that they get when they come in. And they got like little glow sticks. So the whole audience has got glow sticks. The lights go down. The lighting, LED.
Are they sitting the whole time?
They sit for a lot of the show, but there's some parts I'm like, everybody on their feet. And then we dancing and we all playing. And especially when we do the hip hop version, the DJ know what time it is. So she got that, you make me happy. Hey, hey, hey. So it's an experience,
You don't host any normal shows.
Nah, bro. Nah, I really don't. But also, it makes my mind start wiring because I'm hosting these MC competitions, this bingo show, Star Wars. I was like, what can I curate?
Because you've collected all this information on these unique experiences, huh?
Exactly. So what can I curate that I can brand, that I can also produce, co-produce? I can host it or I can hire a host, but what kind of experience can I create now? With this experience and these resources that has the ability to move and translate. So that's the level up game for me, is creating experience. I've got to produce in background. So what I don't have is, the funding, the marketing, the ability to, obviously I can work my way onto these ticketing sites, but still effective marketing is good. So I got to wait until that plan and, comes to life. But that's kind of where my mind has been thinking, is how I can curate that and then build on that and have different cities and have different hosts and roll that out. So
that's what will have made everything it's almost like when I think of stuff like that, it's almost like an end game. Like, okay, that's what all of this was for.
Right. And I'm so open-minded with how I reach my next level of success, because I could just get picked up and now I'm on a show that's on HBO or on
did it.
Right. I made it.
No matter how, did it.
Right. And then once I get that, because that's literally all it takes, is to get on one show on HBO or Netflix. And now everybody knows my name. Now I can sell out comedy clubs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just as funny as I was a few months before that.
Right.
But now I got that name and now I can sell out comedy clubs and I don't have to do anything else but go sell out comedy clubs and travel around the country.
Yeah, it's almost like the grind changes, like when they say it never stops, that's true, but it changes, because it's not like that show means, oh, okay, I'm good forever. Right. It's just like you said, it's making all the next steps there for you when they might not have been, now everything's like moving in a different way, but it's still difficult and it's still a grind.
Right. Like I feel like as a freelance entertainer, entrepreneur, like we have seasons, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we have the season that was like, man, I gotta go get this job, you know what I'm saying? Because I need to catch up, I need to pay this off, and then that season passes. You gotta know when that season is past. It's kind of okay, I know I wasn't meant to stay there. So is it time now? Are these other things now in position and ready to kind of serve me? Is there a flow, another season that I'm about to flow into? Cool, and you got to know when to step into that. But some people get stuck in questioning and being scared and all of that. It's like, nah, you got to know when to step into that season. Because that season is going to bring forth your next season from those seeds that you planted from 3 seasons ago. And you got to be ready to step into that. Now it's like, oh, snap, wow. And you may fall after that. So you got to be, responsible with your money. Did you put some in savings? You know what I'm saying? Did you keep that money that was in your Venmo account in there? Did you transfer it? What did you do?
Yeah. No, man, that's beautiful. Look, Charlie, this was not this was definitely a remix of the real show. This was totally different, but I honestly, as the combo progressed, I was just like, man, I'm so hippie. You had an amazing show planned, but there was just so much insight from this conversation. I was enjoying it a lot, and I'm only imagining that our audience will feel the same. So yeah, I appreciate you for pulling up. I hope that what you said can help all of our viewers in some type of way, because everybody's trying to make something happen with what they got a lot going on. Everybody got a lot going on. Everybody's trying to make something happen. So I hope that people were as inspired as I was. Hippie just said we can still show Charlie on stage rapping as Lando. I would love to see this.
I didn't know she had that. Where's she?
That's the Yoda. That's the Yoda to the cookie, to the very, very cookie, to the beat. The beat is so unique. Come on, everybody, and dance to the beat. Phoenix, fucking Arizona. Make some noise. Let's go.
Let's go. F-bombs on a Disney, on a Disney production.
Exactly.
Hell yes. That looks like a lot of fun. I saw Chewbacca out there getting down and everything.
Yeah, Chewbacca goes to work. Every city, every show, Chewbacca goes to work for sure. And
so before we get out of here, do you want to tell the audience anything that you got personally going on, anything with the show? This does air today, so you can say whatever's coming up.
For sure. Yeah, so I am in Inglewood tonight doing this like pop the balloon kind of comedy show. My girl Mauricia is gonna kind of throwing out. Sunday or tomorrow I'm hosting Bingo Loco in San Diego, so we'll be out there. Try to grab a ticket if there's still availability. It's a party, Bingo Loco. Follow their page. And then Sunday I'm doing a show with Dale Harrison. She has like a brunch that she's doing downtown LA actually, where she's got like live music and some comedy. So that's Sunday night. And then from there, just keep an eye on stand up. I'm trying to confirm something at the Improv soon. Follow me on Instagram at Charlie Wilson TV. Empire Strips Back. Catch us in a city near you, around the world. Hopefully it's a show that I'm hosting because it's very, very different if I'm not hosting it.
Tell them.
But thanks for having me, bro. It all started with the tea, and then here we are afterwards. You know what I'm saying?
It all started with the tea. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Damn Internet You Scary. This episode we call in the Pat Rogan experience. But I've been Patrick Cloud, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for pulling up.